Hello and welcome to a special Tuesday bonus episode of Palace Intrigue, keeping you up to speed with what's happening with Meghan's weekly podcast, which was sinking to a stunningly low number 172 on the US Apple podcast charts when we checked this morning. A podcast industry insider told Palace Intrigue, "This is what I have been telling you. It was propped up by Apple Promotions in the big promotions box, and now it's not." But the big podcasting story today isn't even Meghan's own podcast. It was Meghan appearing on someone else's podcast. The Duchess made her podcast guest debut in the most casual of fashions, literally. Clad in black sweats, sneakers, and no makeup, Meghan Markle joined the Jamie Kern Lima Show for an episode. The setting was as intimate as the tone, with the two women chatting from matching rocking chairs in Jamie's home, an environment the host called one of her favourite spots, where she and Meghan have shared countless moments. Meghan wore a sweatshirt stitched with the names of her children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, and wiped away tears as the two spoke candidly about self-worth and the pressure to constantly prove oneself. "We spend so much of our life trying to prove something," Meghan said, her voice cracking, "to prove that you're enough, pretty enough, smart enough, a good wife or a good friend." And I was like, I am just so done with the prove it game. If you can't see it, I don't need to prove it to you. That's your loss. I know that I'm a great friend, and I know the kind of mum I am, and I know the kind of human being I am, and I know how I show up, and I love being able to be that person with all the people that I love. The episode was described by Jamie as Meghan's first ever podcast interview as a guest, a distinction worth noting given Meghan's own experience as host of the cancelled series Archetypes, and more recently the floundering confessions of a female founder. Jamie teased that the wide-ranging conversation would cover not only personal matters like the Duchess's morning routine and thoughts on motherhood, but also professional ones, such as whether she plans to write another book, run for office, or continue using the surname Markle. "I know how I show up," Meghan continued, "and I love being able to be that person with the people that I love, so maybe part of the worthiness comes when you stop having to feel like you're in the prove-it game. Hallelujah," Jamie replied through tears of her own. "Getting out of the prove-it game feels like joy, tastes like freedom." The episode took an especially poignant turn when Jamie handed the Duchess an envelope. "This has never been seen before," Kern Lima said, before revealing that the letter came from Meghan's husband and children. The moment overwhelmed Meghan, who dabbed tears from her eyes and laughed through the emotion, saying, "I wasn't expecting that one." Meghan fielded questions on a number of personal and professional topics, from her thoughts on writing another book, yes, maybe, for sure, to the notion of a political future, a question she laughed off. "No, never," she said when asked if she'd consider running for office, before adding, "Oh God, I mean, you could say never, but no, I'm not interested in that." She also teased forthcoming projects in the lifestyle and hospitality space, referencing her as-ever brand as an interest in food, entertaining and home. A follow-up to her children's bestseller, The Bench, is also not out of the question. Meanwhile, on her own podcast, Meghan's guest was the same Jamie Kern Lima. Describing Jamie as her rocking chair friend, the pair discussed what it truly means to be seen, especially as women navigating industries historically resistant to female ambition. Meghan shared that her relationship with Prince Harry has entered what she calls a honeymoon phase. Now that the couple has had the benefit of some distance from royal duties and media scrutiny, you have to imagine at the beginning everyone has like butterflies. Then we immediately went into the trenches together, she said. Now, 7 years later, you can just enjoy each other in a new way. The Duchess was quick to praise her husband, calling him a fox and commending his commitment to family. "He's just out there, just constant. To make sure our family is safe and protected," she said, "and his heart is even more beautiful." Between the two appearances, we also learned Meghan was often shut out of commercial auditions because of her freckles. "My commercial agent could not submit me for beauty or skincare ads because I had freckles," she recalled, adding that being mixed race meant she wasn't cookie-cutter for a specific type, which led to more rejections. Meghan also spoke about the humble beginnings of her as-ever lifestyle brand, originally called American Riviera Orchard. "At the beginning, I just liked making jam," she said. "What started as a small batch of preserves shared with friends grew into a business, though fear of failure kept her from thinking big at first. Was I playing small because I wanted to play small, or was I scared?" She reflected. Oprah, who I know is a mentor and friend to you, same for me. She was the one that said, "There are tons of things you could put your name on, but for you and how you like to show up for people. Once you figure out how to encapsulate your essence, then you'll know." In one of the podcast's most poignant moments, Meghan described how she documents everyday memories for her children by emailing them to secret inboxes she's created, saying, "Before I go to bed, almost every night I email them, like, here's your report card from today," or, "Oh my gosh, wasn't it the funniest thing this morning?" or, "Here's a picture of you two having breakfast," or, "Here's you playing." The things that you're not going to frame, the things that you're not going to put pen to paper in a journal, but which they will end up seeing at one point in their life, maybe when they're 16 or when they're 18. I'll say, "Here's an email that I've been keeping for you. Here's everything and every moment that I wanted to tell you how much I love you and like how proud I am of you." More Palace in just a moment. While we have you, there is some more Meghan news. Representatives for the Duchess have denied that Meghan continues to use her title, Her Royal Highness, HRH, following renewed speculation prompted by a gift card spotted during her podcast appearance with Jamie Kern Lima. A gift basket sent by Meghan was shown on screen. In the basket, 2 jars of ice cream, unclear if melted, some flowers, mint, and a note with Meghan's royal title embellished on it. The card reads, "With compliments of HRH, the Duchess of Sussex," language that quickly raised eyebrows. Kern Lima said the basket had arrived at her home about a year ago. In response, a spokesperson for the Sussexes stated unequivocally they do not use the HRH titles. While there is no legal restriction barring Prince Harry or Meghan from doing so, it was agreed with the late Queen Elizabeth II and senior royal officials that the couple would cease using the titles, along with the word royal, when they stepped back from their working roles in 2020. Buckingham Palace has been approached for comment on the matter. Royal commentator Ingrid Seward weighed in, telling The Sun, "I think if her late grandmother-in-law, Queen Elizabeth, was still around, she would be highly offended. She wouldn't think it was the correct form." Meghan's remarks about her entrepreneurial workload have ignited a pointed backlash from broadcaster Carol Malone, who lambasted Meghan on GB News for what she deemed an exaggerated portrayal of hard work. Appearing visibly exasperated, Malone said, "That makes me so angry. She talks like she's a one-woman band. She's not editing scripts. She's not editing what's going to happen the next day. Other people are putting that in place. She won't even organize her own clothes. Everything is organized for her. That is not hard work. Hard work is getting up in the morning, being at the factory or a shop by 7 a.m. and working 10 hours on your feet. Coming home knackered. That's not what she's doing. She doesn't make the jams. It's all made for her. And she's got the plug in there saying, 'We sold out.' They didn't sell it. They hardly even put it out. Disgrace." The normal Tuesday morning episode of Palace Intrigue was published earlier today. You'll find that in the feed, and we'll be back tomorrow as usual. There you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice, and leave us a nice review if you're enjoying the show. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue. Good times.